Hello everyone, this is Raghu. I'm a developer in HCL RTist team. So today I'm going to demonstrate the improvements we have made for the generalization refactoring. So to start with, basically I will just touch upon like what was the existing behavior currently it is working and what we have made the changes. The existing behavior, as we can see here on the top left corner, if we can see there is a generalization hierarchy which is for a vehicle class diagram I have created. So here we have a generalization between vehicle, SUV and sedan. If you see here, if you want to refactor this generalization from sedan to pickup truck instead of SUV, previously we were getting this dialog confirm rearrangement. So basically what was the thought process behind this is to preserve everything so that user can manually rearrange or redefine them according to their convenience. So if we can see here on the bottom right corner, once we redirect the generalization from SUV to pickup truck, which is still having visibility to vehicle, where all the elements are still visible to sedan, but still we were actually creating all the duplicates, as we can see in the right hand side. So what we have done is to avoid this. We have made a little bit like a smart improvement here. What we have done is we are trying to preserve whatever the previous references which are available so that they'll not get duplicated and all the references will be connected to the uh, previous parent as it is. If there are any references which are unreachable, we will show a dialog that I'll show in the next slide. So here we can see I have connected the generalization from SUV to pickup truck, and we can see that on the right hand side and the bottom right hand side, the references to the redefined elements, for example, park state still has the reference to the vehicle. Similarly, running, like all the elements have, and here we will not get that dialog that which says that there will be a changes in the diagram. You have to manually adjust them. Instead, user still continues to get this inheritance rearrangement dialog, where this absorption or exclusion of the elements still works as it was before. I'll move on to next slide. This is the slide which I mentioned. Like if we want to completely refactor the generalization, which is if we are in a very initial phase of the state machine, like a class diagram creation, in this case, like if you want to get rid of the previous parent completely, in that case, whatever the redefinition links we have with the previous parent will get affected, and we are trying our best effort to show all the references here, and we are allowing user to choose what to do with them. Like in the action column, if we see, it has options, like these are the options we can choose. It has a drop down icon, drop down row in the action column. So if we can choose what we can do with that. Yeah, that's the one more like benefit where we have, like if we are trying to refactor the previous parent completely. Yeah, with this I will move to tool, like a previous version of the tool, where like I will quickly show what was the behavior like the user was facing. So here, as I said, here I have a pickup truck which extends the vehicle, and I have a sedan here. If I open the state machine here, yeah, here it has a composite state machine for top capsule top state. So now if I try to refactor this, as I mentioned, we are getting this dialog. If I say yes, as I said, we can see everything got duplicated here. The idea behind this is to preserve the any local redefinitions which customer has made, so that they will not lose the local content what they have done with these elements. Yeah. So now I will move on to the latest tool, and I will demonstrate the new improvements. Okay. So first I'll open state machine for this. Yeah, here I have a top state. So I'll try to add an intermediate capsule here. So I'll name it as a pickup. Okay. So what we want to do is like we want to introduce one more level of abstraction between this sedan and vehicle, and we want to get rid of this SUV. Instead, we want to introduce the pickup truck in between instead of SUV. So for that, what first I have to do is first I have to create generalization between vehicle and pickup. Yes, I have done. So now if I want to refactor this to pick up instead of SUV, it should be possible. And instead of that extra dialog, only this dialog should come. So we just have to say OK. Yes, this refactoring is has successfully happened. And if we see, if I go to sedan diagram, if I open the state machine diagram, still it's all its references are properly intact. I can go inside, and also we can see whatever the local modifications we have made should be available. Right? Yeah, this is simply redefined. I think this is also simply redefined by diagram. Let me. I'm trying to locate something which I have a local. Yeah. So for example, this one, it is redefined. So this sedan has electronic central lock system, like in the parking. But if we go to, if we navigate to its parent, so show state in superclass, this does not have anything. So if I go back, I undo. Yeah, so it has a local changes to this state, and even after I have done, even after I do the refactoring, all that should be intact. Yes, we can see it is available, and also the reference. I can still navigate to it's a superclass state which is in vehicle, and also other references. If I go back, yeah, all are intact properly. Okay, so this is one of the improvement we have made. And I'll do.
Yes, there's one comment there that I think maybe people already understood it, but it's very important that you refactor the way that Rago did now. So first create the generalization from pickup to vehicle, then move the generalization from SUV to pickup. Because if you do it in the opposite direction, then there are all references will not have anywhere to bind, since the pickup then doesn't inherit from vehicle. So that's an important note.
Yeah. Any questions or any comments on this? I'll continue with refactoring completely to a new parent capsule. I'll show that in a while, but I just want to see like are there any feedback or questions on this? Okay, then fine. I'll do Control Z. So let's assume like which as Matthias mentioned, like if I break this generalization here, now I don't have any contact with the vehicle. Of course, I have so many references currently pointing to the vehicle capsule. So if I try to generalize, if I try to refactor this generalization to pick up, assume we are in a very initial phase of the development and we want to get rid of this vehicle completely. Instead, we have to keep the pickup only. So in that case, if I try to generalize this, so yes, as I shown this in the presentation, this dialog we will get. So the default options in this dialog is to preserve everything, whatever the redefined contents are there. And like if we simply click OK, whatever the options here shows will simply duplicate everything, and user will not lose any content, whatever the redefined content they have in the model. Okay, let me click OK, and then I will show you once again like how I can choose this dialog. Yes, we can see here this is duplicated, and if I go, basically everything gets duplicated. It's not duplicate. This had the local implementation, so we have made the effort to keep it as it is. Now it's a user choice to whether to clear it off or reuse it with the new parent. I'll do undo, and of course always this undo redo works. So if it's not working as expected, so you can use that and get back to the previous state, and you can examine the model, what has happened to your model. I will try to explain a little bit on this dialog. So this dialog has some handy features. For example, there, if we have so many references here, if you want to see where actually it is present, so I can go to diagram editor. We can locate that in the diagram editor, or we can simply double click and navigate in. We can locate in the project explorer. So before we are making any decision here, it will be clear for us. So what to do with that reference. So, and for example, like if I choose this one, highway lane drive through, there should be one. There should be one a local transition which has a reference to stops state from the superclass. I'll go to diagram. Yeah, this one. So if we can try to understand this, so this is a element which is a transition. The reference is the target of a decelerate. So this is a stop. It is actually referencing the stop state from the vehicle capsule, and it is a target of this decelerate. And here the option what we have is by default, we can convert it to self transition. So the idea behind here is like once if we break the current inheritance chain, the stop will become unreachable. So we can make this decelerate a self transition with the drive through state. Okay, or we have an option to completely delete it. Like we can choose to delete the transition itself. Let me, and also when, like if we have so many options, if we do any changes in this column, it will be get highlighted with the bold font so that before clicking OK, user will have a clear picture of what will happen to the model after this. And also here I have a my trigger has a reference to the port which is present in the vehicle class. Okay. If I click OK, now this transition should get deleted. Of course, the referenced element all will lose the visibility, and the rest will get automatically duplicated. Yeah, we can see for this transition, the option chosen was to absorb both source and target. I'll do Control Z and let me show it once again. So toll plaza 2. Yeah, so here is the transition, redefined transition, where it says absorb both source and target. So that means it actually created a local copy of stop from whatever the content available from the vehicle capsule. And of course, once you change anything here, like you have an option to set it back to default, and you can just go ahead, and these two options which were coming previously in a small dialog are merged here. And if you choose anything here, whatever the selection we make in this table here becomes overridden. So these two checkboxes takes the priority over this table selection. For example, I can choose absorb all superclass properties. If I do this, basically everything from the vehicle class will get absorbed. I'll try this. Yeah, we can see everything from the previous superclass vehicle got absorbed. Yeah, I think that's all about this new improvement on the refactoring of the generalization.